Good evening. Wow. It's been a bit crazy as far as news is concerned. It's been a bit all over the place. Um, Man, I'll tell you what, there are a whole lot of situations that may turn out way different than what I think most people were thinking. I don't know. It's really crazy. All the rhetoric that's going on about Iran right now. Um, China doesn't seem all too pleased. um, I don't know that Putin is very pleased, to be honest. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So, I got this article on what Trump names the greatest threat, but before we get to that, I do want to mention there was another aircraft accident. However, as far as I can tell, all the latest info, they're not saying anything about any fatalities. It says crew of 5 injured, so for whatever reason, every person on the aircraft was considered crew. So, let's see. Let me bring you over to here. Let me see if I can bring up images. Let's see. That's while it was on fire. When I saw the aircraft, I mean, I was like, they're gone. There's no way. They're gone. I never dreamed that they would have made it out of that. But they indeed did. I don't know anything on the severity of their injuries. I don't think that's been put out. But I will read what it says. Lancaster County officials gave an update Sunday after a plane crashed near Lancaster Airport. During the conference, officials confirmed 5 people who were on the plane were all taken to the hospital to be treated for injuries. Officials said nobody was killed in the crash. When we have a plane crash where everybody survives is a great thing. Absolutely. Says the plane crashed in a parking lot of the Brethren Village about 3:20 p.m. It's a retirement community in the Mannheim Township. It appears it may have skidded about 100 feet after it made contact with the ground, officials said. So it was a 1981 Beechcraft A36 Bonanza turboprop owned by Jam Zoom Yayos LLC. So, very interesting. Nobody on the ground was injured. Of course, it's being investigated by the FAA. So, not good. Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, I very happy I got my watch battery fixed. Hang on. I like the always on screen, because what it does is it makes my my watch face, it turns it into black and white, and it just makes it dim on the screen. They call it always on, and it does that to save, kind of like almost like a screensaver, but this is more to save battery. And so anyway, I haven't been able to use the always on in forever, because the battery had gotten so bad that half a day in, if I had the always on turned on, the battery would die in it. So, let's see. You have a sip of coffee. It's awesome now, though. Got the tent all ready, so tomorrow I'll finish up that. There we go. Trump names greatest threat to humanity. U.S. President Donald Trump has declared nuclear weapons as the foremost threat to humanity. He criticized those focusing on global warming while overlooking the immediate danger of weapons of mass destruction. Statement comes days after the U.S. president called for nuclear disarmament among world powers. In an interview with Fox News on Sunday, Trump stated that climate lunatics predict minor sea level rises over centuries, but ignore a threat of a nuclear war that could happen tomorrow. He's got a point. They talk about global warming, and then they say the ocean is going to rise 1/8 of an inch in the next 300 years. And nobody ever talks about nuclear weapons, he said. Goes on to say, I watched former U.S. President Joe Biden for years say the existential threat is from the climate, and I said no. The greatest is sitting in shells in various countries called nuclear weapons that are big monsters that can blow your heads off for miles and miles and miles, Trump argued. So it can blow your head off. That reminds me of Joe Biden's, 9mm can blow your lung right out of you? They probably shouldn't talk about weapons. They don't know nothing about weapons. It'll blow your head clean off. Okay. I figured make it an easy. It's first night back. I'm going to make it quick and easy and go love on my heating pad. And a big black Doog. Let's see. Ukraine's losses mounting due to U.S. intel freeze, says Time. A recent suspension of U.S. intelligence sharing with Ukraine has critically weakened Kiev's defense capabilities, leading to substantial casualties, territorial losses, particularly in the occupied region of Russia's Kursk region, and plummeting morale, Time reported on Friday, citing Western and Ukrainian officials familiar with the situation. They lost their sugar daddy. One unnamed official claimed that the lack of U.S. intel directly resulted in hundreds of dead Ukrainians, adding that the biggest problem is morale, as Kiev is unable to effectively use some of its most powerful Western-supplied weapons. Damn. Well, somehow they managed to fire some HIMARS. According to Time, the abrupt halt in intelligence sharing has affected the Ukrainian foothold in the Russian border region of Kursk, which the Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky regards as a bargaining chip in potential peace talks with Russia. The magazine said, citing sources, that Russia has made swift advances in the area, aiming to cut off Ukrainian supply lines into the region. According to Ukrainian media reports citing the Deep State monitoring website, Russian forces have nearly cut off Kiev's foothold in the Kursk region from the border. So, I figured Russia would take as much advantage of it as possible but that is what it is. I mean, Trump is not going to sit there and fund a forever war just because others would. At least I hope not. Huh. But I must say, other countries at this moment have great confidence in us. The most confidence anybody had ever seen. What they tell me. U.S. supplied German jets at risk of Trump kill switch, says Bild. Wouldn't that suck? You're cruising along, stealth mode, trying to get some intel on the Ruskies, and all of a sudden your canopy just flies off. Be a bad day, Tater. Anyway, it said German policymakers are growing increasingly concerned over the possibility that the U.S. could remotely disable F-35 fighter jets being delivered to Berlin in the event of a crisis, mirroring its recent decision to freeze intelligence and military support to Ukraine, Bild reported on Saturday. So you've got this person that's completely fear-mongering. You know, these two things are not related. As far as if Germany wanted to use them to go attack Russia, I don't know that Washington would shut them off. I think he'd wish them well. I mean, we can't stop that. Says the German Air Force is set to receive 35 American-made F-35A Lightning II jets starting in 2026 as part of an €8.3 billion or a $9 billion deal. However, some German policymakers fear that U.S. President Donald Trump, who has been at odds with the EU over a number of issues, could use a kill switch to ground the aircraft if Washington and European capitals diverge in their approach to a potential conflict with Russia, the article said. Russia, Russia, Russia. The kill switch in the F-35 is more than just a rumor, Joachim Schernhofer, the head of communications at German defense company Hensoldt, told Bild. But it's much easier to use the mission planning system than the plane stays on the ground. And he did the little thing, did a hair flip. Let's see, Wolfgang Ischinger, a much more manly man, is the former president of Munich Security Conference Foundation, questioned the fate of the contract. If we have to fear, wrong speech, if we have to fear that the U.S. could do with future German F-35s what they are currently doing with Ukraine, we could consider terminating the contract, he said, as quoted by the tabloid. Well, that's kind of a different situation. The Ukrainians don't know how to use that equipment, so they need help. They also don't have, directly access to the information, the intel they need to operate said equipment, if they could operate said equipment. So, they're bumming. However, they did apparently somehow launch an attack into Russia with HIMARS. I'm not quite sure how they were able to do that. It's actually not the next article, but the one after that. I'm running through these pretty quick. I've got 4 more stories left. Need a drink of coffee, a couple of vapes. My neck hurts. I'm ready for bed. Blue beats me up in the middle of the night. Does it every night. I'm hearing light noises that way, but fun. Now that's that next article. How would you say that you support women at the Women's Day rally any more than brutalizing them? You know? German police brutalized female activists at Women's Day rally. Now, you're talking about a country, and if I'm getting countries confused, I apologize, but just for the sake of a good joke, if you're talking about a country that wants to come down on men because, I don't know, they may have said something that a female could have taken as misogynistic, then it's okay for the police to beat the hell out of them? Is that how that works? So it seems to me like somebody's got a monopoly on violence there in Germany, and it damn sure ain't the people. Not unless they're like running down a crowded street as fast as they can in a vehicle. But because guns are bad. Because guns are bad. Police in Berlin violently clashed with female activists at a pro-Palestine demonstration that took place during an International Women's Day march on Saturday, according to videos posted online. Those two things probably go real well together. Women's Day rally and a Muslim event. Because, footage circulating on X shows officers in riot gear using batons as well as their fists. Ooh, they like it bareback. As they attempted to disperse the crowd. In one video, a group of officers is seen dragging a female protester before pinning her to the ground and choking her. And then they cut, waited for the next scene for the porno. Anyway, the footage has gone viral. Well, no kidding, it's on OnlyFans. Sparking outrage. No, I'm kidding. I probably shouldn't be joking about it, but, well.
Wie heißt du? Ruf mich nicht an, Alter. Hier, komm mal! Hey! Polizeigewalt!
Volkswagen. Yeah, so all that happened. And I guess that the cops get a pass, right? Now, just don't say anything that a woman might be offended by, because you might go to prison for life. But, because we can't be mean to women. I guess unless you got a badge. But, yeah, and you know how that works. Absolutely nuts. 3 more articles. Yeah, the HIMARS. We somehow were able to target it twice. Says Ukraine strikes market in Russian town with HIMARS, says governor. Ukrainian military launched 2 HIMARS rockets directly at the stalls of a market in the town of, I believe that's, what the hell is that? Is that Veliki? I think it's Veliki Kopani. Veliki Kopani. And then clean up the mess. Let's see. In Russia's Kherson region on Sunday, according to the regional governor Vladimir Saldo. Kind of like Waldo, but you can find this guy. The attack left several civilians dead and a lot wounded, Saldo said, citing preliminary data. Dozens of civilians, were to market when at least 2 projectiles fired from a U.S.-supplied M142 HIMARS multiple rocket launcher struck the location, according to a telegram post by Saldo, which included images from the aftermath. The photos show one building badly damaged with thick smoke billowing from it. Footage circulating online shows a destroyed van ablaze outside of the market with an injured or possibly dead person lying next to it. So, not good. Let's see. So I don't know if they just know how to use that particular one and not the other one. Because I think there's one they have, and I can't remember the letters. But it, I think can go further than, M142 or whatever that is. Oh, that was healthy. Kind of good, though. Surprised I didn't get huffed over that. Alright. 2 more, actually. One more article. Wow, we might actually be out of here by 8:30. I will not be upset to get in bed early. Felt a little off for some reason throughout today, time-wise. I don't know why that would have been. Bastards. Hopefully they get rid of it. I just, it's nonsense. Just stay this time like it is now forever. Daylight savings time. Alright. Had to get myself in the right mood for this next article. Be quiet, small man. Elon Musk said to the Polish foreign minister. I would have loved to have seen it. Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has told Polish foreign minister Radoslaw Sikorski to be quiet during an argument online over the role and funding of the Starlink satellite internet service widely used by the Ukrainian army. Musk has donated over 40,000 Starlink terminals to Ukraine since 2022. Ukrainian troops are using the service to guide drone and artillery strikes, among other tasks on the battlefield. Right on, Kevin. Where in the hell, what area do you live in if it's one of the gayest places on the planet? I'm just curious. Zelensky and Coke. Oh, man. Oh, okay. That's like northeast, right? I would have to Google it. Oh, wait. Oh, you're not even in the U.S. Oh, yeah, wait. Yeah, you are. Yeah, the Northeast. Massachusetts. Oh, wow. That's like way the hell up there. I would freeze my ass off. Ah. No, I would imagine it's not the same kind of cold there. I hear your cold's much more pleasant than our cold. The cold here is just ridiculous. Heck yeah. I'd love to live near an ocean. Let's see. This goes on to say on Sunday, Musk, an advisor to U.S. President Donald Trump, renewed his call for a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, describing his Starlink system as the backbone of the Ukrainian army. Their entire front line would collapse if I turned it off. What I am sickened by is years of slaughter and a stalemate that Ukraine will inevitably lose, he wrote on X. Sikorsky responded to Musk's post saying that Starlinks for Ukraine are paid for by the Polish digitization ministry at the cost of about $50 million per year. The ethics of threatening the victim of an aggression apart, if SpaceX proves to be an unreliable provider, we will be forced to look for other suppliers, the minister added. And maybe they can get Whisper. Be quiet, small man, Musk replied. You pay a tiny fraction of the cost, and there is no substitute for Starlink, he wrote. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio argued that Sikorsky was just making things up. No one has made any threats about cutting Ukraine off from Starlink, Rubio stressed. And say thank you, because without Starlink, Ukraine would have lost this war long ago, and Russians would have been on the border with Poland right now. That's true. So, to my knowledge, though, he didn't say anything about getting rid of Starlink in Ukraine. So, oh man. Let's see. Okay. Fun times. I don't have any other news. I've just been kind of keeping an eye on what's going on. Like I say, there's so many things that they really are up in the air. I thought this Russia-Ukraine thing would have been a little more simple than it has been. I don't know if I thought we were supplying some national gas to Germany and other countries in the region, but I'm not real positive, and I have no idea on how much. Because to me, I felt like that was a big part of what was going on, especially when Nord Stream was hit, was that it was, stopping Russia from making money on energy so that we could come in and save the day and in turn make the money on that energy. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I see a lot of games going on when it comes to natural resource markets. Oh, goodness. Alrighty, folks. I am going to get out of here and go relax. My neck is killing me. And God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have more news and more to talk about. Sundays are usually pretty dull, which is a good thing. Anyway, I will hopefully see you all tomorrow evening. Drill, baby, drill. I hear ya and I agree. No doubt. No doubt on that. Alright, folks, I will catch you tomorrow night. You have a good one. As always, shalom.